Family law for Spanish expats. 2 seconds and we go straight into the video. Hello everyone, my name is Maria Rubert, lawyer and arbitrator with a base based in the UAE, Dubai and Abu Dhabi. I'm very happy to discuss today, to be with all of you, to talk about a very important topic. When I say family law for Spanish expats, it can also be applied to many nationalities, because at the end of the day, what's important is what's gonna happen here. I don't know the law in every single country. That's why I cannot comment about rights of and obligations of spouses in every single country. But I can share with all of you what is likely to happen here in the UAE. In this video, I'm focusing on the UAE-Spanish connection. Of course, Spain, the country of nationality and the country that we deal the most in terms of clients and jurisdiction. Let's go into it. We come to the UAE, most of us as a single travelers, single professionals. Many of you arrived here with a family, with kids, or only married, and then your kids were born here. What I intend to discuss in the video are the stages of your life. Marriage, then we see the divorce, and then I would like to make a small note on what happens when you pass away and if you are here still in the UAE. Okay, so we jump into the marriage. You come to the UAE and you are still not married. If you come to the UAE and you are married, my recommendation would be legalize your marriage certificate from abroad. Why? Because at some point you're gonna need it. It is likely, and when you need it, everything is gonna be, you're gonna need it for yesterday. So bring it along just in case you have a baby and it's gonna expedite the registration of your baby or babies. So by legalization, there is another video you can look into, but pretty much when we talk about the legalization, we talk about the process of being able to use a document that is being issued abroad by a public authority in the UAE. And in order to do that, you're gonna have to bring those documents and they are gonna have to bear the stamp of the UAE embassy in the country of origin of that document. It doesn't have to be your country of origin. You could have gotten married in Australia and you could be Spanish. So the country of origin of the document. If you come and you are not married, once you get to the point that you will wish to get married, you will have a few options. If you want to get married in front of the UAE courts, you are going to have to convert if you are not a Muslim today. If you are a Muslim or if you convert, you will be able to marry. If you are a woman, your father is going to have to consent to that wedding. So either your father is present or you bring a power of attorney from your father, and you will need two male witnesses, two male Muslim witnesses. What the UAE courts are doing nowadays, you can still get married in front of the courts, but the norm is to appoint you a figure that is called masoon. So the masoon will go to the location where you are going to conduct your wedding, will come to the books, and will finalize the registration with the courts. You could also get married in the church's free zone in Jebel Ali. There is representation of different religions and beliefs, and they will conduct a ceremony and they will also register the marriage with the authorities. The last option, in this case for Spanish nationals, would be to get married at the embassy. Usually this option is about 8 weeks, 6 to let's say 9 weeks, average 7, 8, and you will have to submit certain documents. You will need to prove where you have lived the last 2 years. You will have to prove that the person you are marrying, I'm talking in this person because I will be the Spanish person if I end up getting married in the Spanish authorities with the Spanish embassy, that my future husband, if he's under 25, I will need to prove. This is extremely unlikely to happen. I'm over my 40s, but for the sake of the story, and you never know, he would need to prove that he's of legal age to marry in his country. We will need to submit our birth certificates duly legalized. We will need a non-objection certificate from the consulate of origin of my future husband saying that he doesn't have any other marriage pending over him and that he can get married. After I have gotten married, it doesn't matter in which way, I could apply to the Spanish authorities to get a Schengen visa. Yes, you can get a visa, but you will be able to get it once you are ready to travel to Spain. If you are gonna marry and live in the UAE, maybe your visa will be declined. We come to the UAE, we get married, and our family grows. what happened to those who don't get married? Can you simply not get married? What happens with couples who never get married? They don't want to get married. They come from jurisdictions where it's okay to not marry. Or what happens with single mothers? Can you register your kids? The nice answer is yes. Since November 2020, you are able to register your kids even if they come out of wedlock. In this box, let's say, there are kids that are born from a couple that are not married, and perhaps the father is married to someone else. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't matter the situation. That kid is going to have the same rights as kids born within a married couple. So same rights, no big issue. The process when it comes to immigration is slightly different because you will be asked to get a non-objection certificate from your consulate that is okay to register a kid under your name being a woman if you are not married. If you are not married but there is a known father, the father is going to have to go and sign and authorize that the embassy gives you that non-objection. If you're a single mother, no worries, you go to your embassy with your family book and they will give you the non-objection certificate. And this again, it is valid since November 2020 by federal number 15 of 2020. If you recall back, we were in the middle of the COVID. So COVID was very good for the UAE because it humanized the UAE. We also saw the lowering of penalties and even the decriminalization for drinking of alcohol. We saw the decriminalization of cohabitation, like this is the case. Of course, if they allow couples unmarried to live together, the consequence is that they will have kids being unmarried as well. So that's why we put this in the same box. This is the implication. This is in the heart of Sharia. Allowing unmarried couples to live together is a big sign of we are a 21st century country, the UAE, and they are ready to welcome cultures and to adjust. Another sign that we saw later on, just to show how open-minded and ready to welcome cultures and business, is the fact that they changed their weekends. We used to work Sunday to Thursday, now we work Monday through Friday. So that way there are no long weekends that make weekends challenging with West and Asia. Now we walk into the not so good news, the divorces. Usually clients call me, Maria, my husband cheated on me, my husband has a new girlfriend, I want to get divorced, or simply the love died, we are best friends and I don't want to live with my best friend. I think I still have time to develop with someone else a loving relationship. UAE, you are going to have the option to get divorced in the UAE. The first stage is going to be in front of the Family Guidance Court, which namely is like a mediation. They try to facilitate the face-to-face encounter of the two parties, wife and husband. Two things can happen. You decide to give another chance to the marriage, or because you are talking face-to-face, maybe you will reach a settlement. So those are the options. Lawyers are not allowed. We can of course guide you and let you know what you need to do and where you need to go, but you are going to be present. Another question that usually comes first is, can I go to Spain to get divorced? Yes, you can. If both of you are nationals of Spain, you are always going to have the option. The problem is that usually, even in these situations, the husband will want to go one place, one country, Spain or the UAE, and the wife will want to go to the other country. In this situation, it's very important that you get to the registration first. If you file a case in the UAE first, and then they file a case in Spain, chances are that the court in Spain will stop the case if you are able to prove that you registered the case before, and vice versa. For sure, the UAE courts will stop the process if the other party is able to prove that they registered for divorce first. So very important that you do this. We get to this jurisdiction in a regulation from 2003 that is known as the Brussels 2 bis regulation. Its Article 3 contains other scenarios where you could also look for divorce in Spain. You could file for divorce in Spain if one of the parties, one of the couple members lives in Spain. if it's the last known address of the couple, but one of them has to still be a resident of Spain, or when is the residence, the country of residence of the party receiving the application for divorce, or in the event that both parties file the case together and is still the residence of one of them. When the claimant, the divorce claiming party, has lived in Spain for at least for the last year and filed. Keep in mind that if both of you are nationals of Spain, you can always go to Spain, subject to reaching there first. Something else to think about at the beginning, when the good times are ongoing, you can also agree by agreement saying, hey, now we are gonna go, we are gonna live in the UAE, but in the event that something happens, that we want to get divorced, we will go to the UAE courts. Of course, if you file a case in Spain against your husband or against your wife, and she or he appear in the process, and they don't challenge the jurisdiction, the process will continue. That's very important. So what are you gonna get? If you go to UAE courts or you go to Spanish courts, what is likely that you will be getting? I have divided in custody, compensation, location. If you get divorced in Spain, chances are that you will get shared custody. And because you will get shared custody, each one will cover for the expenses of the kids while in your home, and then extra expenses, private schools, extracurricular activities, trips, etc., school trips, etc., will be shared. If you get divorced in the UAE, kids belong to the mother until about, in terms of custody, until 11, 13 years. You're a boy or a girl, depending. Because by law, the law obliges the women to take care of the kids. The law also imposes the obligation on husbands to cover the life costs of kids and wives at full. Hey, to maintain the lifestyle they had, not to lower it and not to increase it. If you were married to a quite wealthy person, the law is going to oblige your husband to maintain that lifestyle. And by maintaining that lifestyle, usually the lifestyle of the ex-wife is also maintained. Until when? Until the kids reach 18 years of age or 21 if they are still studying. What happens if the wife remarries? If the wife remarries, chances are that the court will exempt the obligation of the husband to cover also the housing. And also, if the husband is paying some maintenance, some compensation to the wife because she's not working, but she also has to go to the hairdresser, she also needs to buy some clothes. In that scenario, she probably, chances are that the UAE courts will remove this compensation from her. If the husband remarries or the husband loses his job, of course, the judge will listen to him if he wants an adjustment of how much he's paying, but he's going to have to prove that. Anyone can suffer that, losing a job. Remarrying is not the strongest of the cases, but if he has another kid, it's going to be difficult, but he's going to have to present it to the judge. What cannot be done is, and often, unfortunately, happens, is that the ex-husband remarry, have new families, and then they try to reduce the fees when they can. So this is going to end up again in front of the courts. The husband will ask for a reduction, and of course former wives will want to keep the status. Unless something significant happens, it is unlikely that this will change, but if it happens, the readjustment can be requested. Then we have left the location. Why do we talk about location? Because there are sometimes when divorces come into place, wives or husbands will not want to continue living in the UAE. What's going to decide a judge? You can ask for it. You can say, listen, I have nothing that links me to the UAE. I have no job. Now that I don't have a husband, I want to go back to my country. I want to go back to Spain and be close to my family. Similar scenarios happen all the time. The court may grant you're going to have to expose and prove the reasons why you want to go back to Spain, and your husband will need to prove the reasons why he doesn't want you to go to Spain. Usually we'll go around the lines of, this is not good for the interests of my kids. So the judge could say, okay, you go, but you will need to be in the UAE for 1 month or 2 months so your kids can be with the father as well. Or the court can say, no, you have to stay and your husband will pay in full all your expenses. It's a matter for negotiations in many instances, if there is the opportunity. In Spain, hey, we have shared custody. We can't forget that you are also going to have signed the agreement with your ex-couple, and you will have an address, and you won't be able to move more than 30 kilometers around, get on without approval. And your ex-spouse is always going to be informed of the location of the kids. So you are not exempt, even if you have shared custody, of reporting to your ex-spouse. Very important, and this is something that is worth exploring in between Spanish couples, is to be able, I told you about the family guidance stage. Speak. You have kids. If you do, especially, you have to talk to each other, to leave a clean record behind you. And why don't you settle in fair terms to both of you and register the settlement? You can have a divorce judgment following an agreement within 1 to 2 months. No litigation, only drafting the agreement, negotiating the agreement, translating the agreement, and registering with the court. Then the court will issue a divorce in the terms of your agreement. It's worth pursuing in the interest of the kids. And last but not least, we are human. We will die at some point. This is something that expats don't think too much. We come to the UAE at an early age, and we don't think to stay here forever. So I want to think that this is the reason why we don't give much thought to this. We give a little bit of thought to wills and wills registration, but we don't think about this. I only wanted to discuss with all of you that in the event something fatal happens to you while in the UAE and no one reclaims you, will be buried in the UAE. If not, if someone reclaims you, you will need to be sent to Spain with a number of formalities and costs that you will need to bear. So the only purpose of including a little note on this is that when you compare medical insurances, if you have same terms for same terms and you have an addition, that is that you will be covered repatriation costs, well, take a look at it. Yes, that is in your mind and it can help you. It can help you in the future. I hope that you have enjoyed the video, that you have learned a little bit. If you have learned, please like the video, please subscribe to my channel, and please follow me on social media. I will be very happy to keep you updated on new videos coming along. If you have any general questions, I will be also very happy that you send them to me, and I will prepare a video like this so everyone can benefit. I hope that it's been a good ride, that it's been pleasant, and I hope to receive questions from all of you very soon. Have a great day.